We are on here.
Nice.
Um, Facebook.
Cool.
Yes, Facebook. Live. Instagram.
Yes. Live.
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 YouTube.
Live.
And live.
Live.
And we are live. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Daryl. How you doing?
Good, Pedro. How's it going?
We are good. We're good. I know we just had a meeting and just pretending now, but that's okay.
Pretended like we haven't been working together all evening.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So, welcome to this week's Vita lower back pain live session. I'm Pedro, and right next to me, Daryl.
Daryl.
And whether you are tuning in from your office or from your home or maybe just rewatching, I am so glad that you've made to this space here today. And today we are diving into a question that so many busy professionals ask at some point. Does my mindset or attitude actually affect my lower back pain? Spoiler alert, yes. But it's probably not the way you're thinking. Look, we're tackling this from two perspectives. First, I, Pedro, your physical health coach, will explain how your body physically responds to mindset and stress, especially in your posture, breathing, and your core and hips. Then we'll hear from Daryl, who is bringing insight into the emotional side of things, how your thoughts and feelings influence your pain experience. But let's start by framing the problem and why does this matters. So if you are like most professionals we speak to, you're juggling deadlines, meetings, family, and you barely are making enough time to move your body. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, I know. We know. Now, imagine your brain constantly picking up stress signals and your body reacting by tightening up, tensing, and just protecting yourself. That's where lower back pain starts to feel stuck, even when you're doing your stretches or just trying to stay active. It's not just what's happening in your spine, it's what's happening in the whole system. So, I will now give you one point of view. Okay. So, let's look at how your attitude and mindset directly influences your physical experience of back pain. So whether you're in back-to-back meetings or commuting for hours of work, for hours a week, your body remembers everything, and here's how. Your posture mirrors your mindset. What I mean by that is when you're stressed, overwhelmed, or mentally drained, your body responds and your body's always trying to communicate with you. So what happens as a result? You slouch, your shoulders round forward, your hips get tight, and your lower back compensates. This posture, this one here, yeah, puts ongoing strain on your spine. So think of your spine like a suspension bridge. Yeah. If the cables, your muscles are under uneven tension, yeah, especially the ones on the front. Yeah, imagine that the core muscles are here. Yeah. There's an uneven tension between the core and the back muscles. The lower back will become the default shock absorber because it's loose, it's flat. So this one has to tighten up to pick up the slack from the core muscles. And then you might be asking, what can I do? First of all, we need to bring you back to the present. Yeah, we tend to get anxious. And what is anxiety? Is basically living in the future. If your head is always in the future, you can't pay attention to what's happening right now. And your posture is just an outcome of you being in the future because you can't be here. Yeah. So being present is the first thing. if you get into the flow and you get into work and you just want to finish it, maybe set an alarm. Yeah. Start by noticing your posture during the day. That's just the first step. Take 10 seconds every hour to stretch tall, roll your shoulders back, and maybe just breathe deeply. Because if you don't do this often, gravity will pull you down. Yeah. Especially if you have your shoulders rounded, slouched over. Gravity will always pull you down, putting always more pressure on your lower back. Make sense? So this one shift will help you reset the pressure on your lower back. But don't stay seated for too long. Try to move every hour or so going for a walk. Okay? Walk will help with your anxiety, will help you with your stress, will get your back moving. And this is a really important point, yeah, from a physical perspective. Now I'm going to pass it over to Daryl.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I remember when I used to sit down all day for a job. Back in the olden days, I was a travel agent once upon a time, and it gets so busy you cannot move. But just taking that time every hour just to get up and stretch, if you don't do it, set a silent alarm to go off every hour, you will really thank yourself for doing it. So the question, does my mindset or attitude affect my back pain? From an emotional point of view, the answer is the same: yes. Mindset affects everything in your life, okay? What is a mindset? Well, a mindset is an ego state. It's who you are being. It's what you're saying to yourself. It's what you believe. It's what you're telling yourself in your mind. And when you're in a certain mindset, you act in a way that's aligned with that. For example, if you're saying to yourself, things are never going to get better, or things just keep getting worse, then you'll look for evidence that that's true. You'll start to imagine the future as being bad. This is the living in the future that Pedro talks about. It creates anxiety. It creates more stress. When you're more stressed because you've got a negative mindset, a negative ego state, then your muscles are going to be tighter. When you're stressed, your body tenses up, especially in your back. This makes pain feel more intense. So even if it doesn't actually increase your pain, it can make it feel worse just because you're stressed, just because the muscles are tighter, just because you're emotionally tired. Negative thoughts make the pain that's already there harder for you to cope with. If you're thinking, oh, this pain, it's going to ruin my day, remember your brain is going to focus on that. It's going to turn up the volume in order to align with your belief system there. If you've got a low mood, if you're suffering with anxiety, depression, sadness, or anything like that, your pain tolerance can be much lower. You've probably noticed people can be short and sharp and a little bit more angry when they're in a really low mood. This is because their tolerance is lower. Their nervous system's tired. So this is another way that having a mindset that brings you down, that drags you down, can make you more sensitive to pain, because when you do get a flare up or a flinch, it's going to be bigger than it needs to be. A small ache can feel overwhelming. So a negative mindset, yes, it can make your back pain feel worse. Now, I'm not saying we can fix all your sadness and depression in one go, but the Vita method does take you through all of these emotions, anger, everything. But for now, if you're caught in a cycle of low mood, of stress or negativity, bear in mind that this might be amplifying your back pain, okay? So it's sending a message from your body to your brain, ouch, I'm sore. And your brain's going, oh, I feel so bad about this. And it just creates this big cycle where it gets worse and worse. The contrast to this is a positive mindset, okay? This can be hard to cultivate. And I'm not saying go out and be happy, clappy, rah, rah, all in one day. But you can grow a positive mindset. What does that look like? It looks like deciding to choose positive beliefs about getting better, about believing that it's possible for you to recover. It's about having positive self-talk. The things that you say to yourself are things like, you can do this, you can cope, things are going to get better. You're going to be able to have a good day tomorrow, even if you're sore. When you've got a positive mindset, it's easier to relax. Your body unwinds and the tension is less. So the pain is actually less. A positive mindset helps you focus on what you can do. Okay, what you can do to help yourself. For example, you can focus on making time to do exercises, to do your stretching. You can focus on giving time to yourself to do hypnosis or meditation. If you do this, you're going to get progress with back pain. Your progress is going to be better, and so are the results. A positive mindset makes it more likely that you will do things that help yourself, but it also makes it more likely that you'll do things that you just enjoy. You know, people that are in a negative mindset, they go, oh, fuck, I can't be bothered. People in a positive mindset go, yes, I will accept that dinner invitation. I will go for a walk. I will go get outside. So if you cultivate a positive mindset, it's going to make it more likely that A, you do things that you enjoy, but B, as a result of that, all the neurotransmitters that come from doing things you enjoy are going to have a flow-on effect to your body. It's going to lessen tension, lessen stress, and lessen the sensation of pain. A better mood has been shown to increase pain tolerance, okay? You're going to get that with the positive mindset. So while you're sorting your back pain out, cultivate a positive mindset because, yes, your mindset can influence it. I'll go back to Pedro, and then after I'm going to give you some tips on how you can get that positive mindset.
Yeah, it's so interesting because especially now in 2025, we are so busy and there is so much happening around the world that is completely out of our control. And then if you are on that mindset, you tend to blame the world for whatever it's happening to you. So that leads me to point two. What is within your reach? What are the things that you can do? Yeah. Another thing is, for example, breathing. Did you know that shallow breathing disrupts your core stability? Yes, it does. So when we are under pressure, like emails or meetings or deadlines, we tend to breathe high and shallow, right? Because we're not really paying attention. We just want to be alive and do whatever we're doing. So proper breathing isn't just for relaxation, it's essential for your core function. Yeah. So your diaphragm and deep core muscles, yes, work together to stabilize your spine. Okay. So your breathing regulates how your spine is stable. Without that connection, your lower back ends up working harder than it should. Makes sense. But what can you do? Well, you can start by spending 2 days, 2 minutes a day practicing slow belly breathing. Yeah, set an alarm. Yeah. And then every hour for 2 minutes, you do this belly breathing. But how do you do it? Let's do this one together. So you're going to inhale through your nose. You're going to feel your lower ribs expanding. And then you're going to exhale fully. But while you are exhaling, place your fingers right here, right next to your rib, right underneath the rib cage. Yeah. And exhale completely until you feel your core getting stiff. Okay. So you have no air left and you can feel that muscle getting stiff. That's a proper spine bracing. We use the same technique if you want to do like heavy squats or a heavy deadlift. Now, imagine what can be done if you are experiencing lower back pain and you focus on your breathing to stabilize your spine while seated. It can help you. So this will help re-engage your core and offload your back. Plus, I think this is a big benefit more than anything, which is related to stress. Because you're breathing, because you are in control, because you're present, you are sending a signal to your brain saying that you are safe. If you're safe, all your muscles can relax. If you have that shallow breathing, that indicates that you are in danger. Okay. There's a whole story behind it we can cover in another live session, but breathing affects if you're stressed, more or less. Yeah. So yeah, that was my second point. Daryl, on to you.
Awesome. I love it. And you see how quick it is. If you followed along with Pedro there, just 1 or 2 breaths, you can immediately start to feel better. So just repeating that for a couple of minutes every day, amazing. From an emotional point of view, thinking about your attitude and your mindset and how do we cultivate a positive one, because we've established already that that your mindset does affect your lower back pain. Okay, so here's a few quick things you can do. You might want to grab a pen and paper or come back and watch this again, but it's pretty simple that you should be able to remember it. Okay, the first thing you can do is make a list of things that affect your mindset. Don't try and do this all at once. Do it over a week. Just ask yourself through the week, how do I feel right now? How did that make me feel after you've spent time with friends, after you've spent time with work colleagues, after you've cleaned something up? Like, you might be someone that's like, oh, I hate doing the vacuuming. But then on reflection, you realize you always feel amazing after you've just vacuumed. So start to make a list of what things make my mindset better and they make me more motivated, and what things make my mindset worse. And it might surprise you. People you consider close or people that or your work colleagues could really have the opposite effect of what you might predict. Likewise, cleaning or doing chores or something that you've got to do on your to-do list might actually make you feel better. One quick thing that I want everyone to put on their list for mindset is a digital detox. I recommend experimenting with no phone for the first 5 minutes of the day. Just 5 minutes. When you wake up, you do not look at your phone. You just don't check it. You don't check the news. You don't check your notifications. See what it's like just to spend 5 minutes starting your day without your phone. If you like it, you can expand it to 10 or 15 minutes, but give that a go. See how it feels for you. Now, the second thing is to watch out as you're going through this. Negative self-talk is one of the biggest shifters from one mindset into another. As soon as you say, oh, Daryl, you fuckface, all of a sudden I've got into a negative mindset. I've done something wrong and I've sworn at myself and now I'm in a bad mood, right? Whereas going, that's all right, Daryl, you can try it again. You can do it again tomorrow. That's all right. Hey, nobody's perfect. Perfect people are boring. Who wants to be perfect? Let's go for progress. The words that you tell yourself can shift your mindset so very quickly. So watch out for self-talk. If you find yourself saying, I'll never get better, or oh, this is not going to work, then write that down. Okay, write down what you've said to yourself, flip it. So think, what is the exact opposite of this? So if I'm saying, oh, I'll never get better, then write down, I can get better day by day, or things will improve. Think of something, a positive opposite of this, and then say that over and over and over. Put it on a post-it, put it somewhere where you can see it, and say it until you've installed the new self-talk. Okay. Now, if you do the Vita method, we have so many different techniques. This is just a quick behavioral technique, but we use hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming, journaling, and meditation, mindfulness, all these different techniques to change your mindset. So you don't have to rely on sheer will. But it is possible to just very quickly, without any of that, go from a negative mindset that hurts your back to a more positive one that makes your back feel better. Here's a quick thing you can do, right? So close your eyes. Just imagine a version of you from the future, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, just sitting right in front of you. Imagine them just a little bit more positive. Okay, we're not going straight to happy, clappy, super, yay, I'm amazing. Just a little bit more positive. It's really hard to imagine yourself fully better sometimes, but you can imagine yourself tomorrow with your back a little bit better, can't you? Just a little bit. Just 1 out of 10 better. Now imagine yourself the day after, and you're just a little bit better again. You're moving just a little bit more freely, just a little bit more flexible. And then the day after, just a little bit better again. So this is just something you can do. You can do it when you're going to sleep. You just close your eyes, imagine a future you tomorrow or the next day, just a little bit better. It's something I've used for years with weight loss. People struggle to imagine themselves as the skinny version of themselves, but they can imagine themselves just a little bit skinnier. And it's something that can work no matter what stage of your journey you're on. So give these things a go. I hope they help, and I hope that this positive attitude that you cultivate is going to be able to help you to be out of back pain. Pedro.
Yes, love it, love it. So yeah, just remember that from a physical point of view, your bags are made to move. Yeah, from side to side, forward and back. Back pain is not normal, and doing the Vita method something that we created together. We're going to take you through gradually structured exercises to let your brain know that it's safe to move your spine, because you can, and the best years are yet to come. So if you are ready to take action, we can help you. We've got the solution. Okay. So yes, mindset absolutely affects your physical body. Okay. Your posture, your breathing, your movement patterns respond to your internal state, and that directly impacts your lower back. But again, here's the easy part. Awareness and small daily shifts can help you reduce that pain and prevent it from coming back long term. Okay, so that's us for this week's live session. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions or any feedback, just comment down below. And yeah, that's us.
Awesome. See you next week. Thanks, Pedro.
See you guys. See you later. Bye.
See you guys.
Okay, and